I would caution people to not let your guard down, folks. Look, this thing, we're not there yet. We got 1 week to go, and we're going to fight like you know what this week on this show. We're going to fight into all the way through next Monday night, Tuesday during the day, and then come 7 o'clock when the polls start closing, we're going to tally the votes and start reporting on what happened at the polls on Tuesday. But we cannot get complacent, Mark, and you know, me and you've talked about this privately, and we've said it publicly. The one group that tends to win a lot of victories and then give them back are Christians, and it's sad, and we can't afford to do that right now. I do believe it's going to be a good decision of this nation next Tuesday night. I do, but we have a Senate and a House to also consider. These down ballot votes are very important, and it comes back down to the evangelical vote. And I have to tell you, the remnant is already responding, but there's a lot of pastors out there, a lot of church leaders that I'm going to say something that's sort of unsanctified. There's a lot of church leaders out there that I want to just reach to this camera and give them the fivefold ministry gift, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and double that and give them 10, or tell them to just hush, because it seems like that they show themselves to be so hypocritical and judgmental of the president, and never mention the left, never mention the deadliness of the left's policies and the baby killing, the abortion, and everything else. But got to fight, brother. We got a week to go, don't we?
Well, and then we just had the headlines come out where we had a group of evangelical pastors that said that they're pro-life, but they're supporting Joe Biden. Give me a break. You can't be pro-life and support Joe Biden. You can't be both. You're riding the fence. The devil owns the fence. Choose this day whom you're going to serve right now. What you're doing is you're bringing a curse upon you and your family's family when you vote for this, because cursed is he who takes a bribe for the slaying of the innocent. I mean, you cannot call yourself a Christian and vote for the Democrats now at this point. They have drawn a line in the sand, and it's time for the Christians to do the same. You need to choose this day whom you're going to serve. The early voting has started, and we cannot let our guard down, like you said. We have had record historic turnout right now in the early voting right now. This is on a historic level, I think, at this point. Right. I know in Florida, Trump was ahead a lot in Florida in the early voting. And, praise God for that. But look, we cannot stop. We have to keep going, because we have to have enough votes, Chris, to overcome the voter fraud like we did in 2016. But this time, it's going to be even worse than 2016 at this point, because it's going to be the mail-in ballots. It's going to be all these different things that we're going to have to overcome. So we've got to have the votes in order to do that. So vote.
Vote. Absolutely, buddy. And if you're a Democrat, that doesn't mean vote again. It just means vote one time. And if you're a dead person out there, don't rise from the dead and vote for the Democrats, okay? Mark is saying vote. That does not mean like multiple times. That means vote one time.
Now, isn't there something out there right now? There's a few states out there where they're literally saying that if you voted for Biden,
you want to
change your vote.
Yes.
Is that legit?
That is legit. It's 7.
Okay.
There's 7 states.
Okay.
If I quote them off the top of my head, I'm probably going to miss them. But I know Arkansas, Delaware, Connecticut, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and there's another one. But yes, there are those state constitutions allow people, if they got to go in person though, they got to go to the polling place, and I think you got to show your ID and show proof that you voted, and then they'll remove that vote and you'll go back in and re-vote again the way you want to. But
I hear there is a lot of people right now but because of the Hunter Biden allegations now that are wanting to change their vote.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yep.
I kind of wish this stuff would have broke a little earlier, but hey, I'll take what we can get right now at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we can thank Christopher Wray about that, and we can talk about that a little bit here in a minute.
Yeah.
But the FBI has got a little bit of culpability in that tonight. But I did one of the reasons, folks, we're on a little early tonight. Tucker Carlson on Fox News, and we love Tucker. Tucker, we need to congratulate Tucker. I was just reading a story. The last 30 days, his show has had the best ratings of any cable news show in internet or TV history. I mean, that's huge.
Wow.
And the reason, Mark, he gets the kind of ratings is Tucker tells something called the truth. He speaks truth. People want to hear truth. They don't want to hear this half truth, half innuendo, mixture. And they don't want to hear all this liberal speak and all this trashing the president. Look, Americans love their country, And that's something the left has never gotten. That's something the mainstream media has never gotten. I don't mean to rub salt in the wound, but Shepard Smith's show on CNBC, literally crashed. He's been on there a couple of weeks. He has been dead last in the ratings. You know why? Because Shepard Smith is a Trump hater, and people are tired of listening to the Trump hate. Yep. And I'm telling you, Tucker deserves every bit of that accolade. Tonight, he has got Tony Bobulinski, or Bobulinski, whatever his name is. And he is a ex-Biden associate. And he's not just bringing a interview without substance. He is bringing audio tapes. And he is going to be playing those audio tapes for the world tonight. And I just think that it's not going to be a good day or a good evening for the Bidens. Now, of course, Joe's been out there today telling everybody this is a smear campaign. We'll see, but I think it's a big thing tonight. I do. I think it's a big line in the sand what's about to happen tonight on Tucker.
Well, Tucker's going to have the entire hour, I think he said last night, unless he's changed it, was going to be devoted to this Tony Bobulinski and the information that he has. And he's going to be playing audio tape of them, of different conversations. We've had the War Machine, Steve Bannon on the War Machine, who has been dropping audio and all kinds of stuff on his show. He has just been really taking it to Hunter Biden right now and the CCP and what's been going on there. That's kind of Steve's thing is the CCP. And all this information is coming out. This is a flood of information right now. A flood of information. I don't think this even scratches the surface of what's coming, honestly. But this is enough to swing an election right here, basically, with this truth coming out.
I believe that, buddy. I do.
I think Trump would have won it whether this information was here or not. Period. Because because of the man's record, because he does what he says, promises made, promises kept. I think we'd have won it anyway. Period. But I think right now what's happening is that we have the truth going out in at a magnitude that's never been seen before, and they're dropping this stuff. And those who weren't able to see and hear before, I think like these ones we're hearing about want to change their vote now after the Hunter Biden revelations here. God's opening people's eyes. He's opening their ears to see and hear what's actually been going on right now. Because again, you can live this, you can hear something and you may be able to say, yeah, okay, whatever. But when you see it or you hear it like this, like what the audio that they're having with this, they're presenting this evidence. There's no denying this evidence, Chris. We got pictures flying around the internet right now. Bad pictures of Hunter, with people, and this, that, and the other. And I mean, it's pretty bad stuff. So, I mean, when people are actually seeing this and hearing the audio, there's no denying it right now. There's no denying it. I mean, Steve Bannon dropped a bombshell this morning, or yesterday or this morning, where you could hear Hunter talking to the number one spy in China.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he was talking about the number one spy, how he's buddies with this guy. I mean, he's one of the wealthiest guys in the world. I mean, all these different things. I mean, so people are getting an earful. They're getting an eyeful right now. They're seeing it. They're hearing it. And this is why I think you're seeing people now waking up, especially on the left, who are willing to see, because you still got some that aren't going to see it anyway. They're not going to want to see it. You know what I mean? They don't care. They're just going to vote the way they want. They think the way they want. But there's still some that we can still turn, obviously, or they wouldn't be wanting to change their vote right now.
With you 1,000% on that, and you said something that I was going to sort of piggyback on. I don't think it will make a difference. I think they would still look. Joy Behar went out there yesterday, or 2 days ago, and she said, listen, I don't care if the Dems are pedophiles. I don't care if they did traffic kids. I'm still going to vote for the Democrats. I love the Democrats. And there's going to be the Joy Behars of the world that's going to feel just that, Mark. It's not going to matter.
No. And there's a reason behind that. There's a reason behind those that aren't going to turn. It's because they're probably guilty of something.
They're guilty of something themselves.
And they know that justice is coming.
They know justice is coming without a doubt. Well, it's going to be an interesting thing, and that's why we went ahead and did early tonight, because we want you all to be free to listen to this without us interfering with that. And it's very powerful. And that comes on at 8 o'clock Eastern tonight. On Tucker Carlson.
And we didn't have last night's show because we wanted to respect Amy Coney Barrett.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you want to talk about her now.
Yes, I do.
Look,
go ahead.
Last night, brother, was a historic night of all nights. And I think the president knew it. You could tell by when he was, Justice Thomas was swearing her in. There's a lot to look at this prophetically. We talked about for months, and when RBG was going to die, she was the gatekeeper of the demonic on that court, period. And when you think about this, when you look at the prophetic signs, how You have the demonic here with RBG. You have the righteousness with Amy Coney Barrett going in.
It's amazing.
This one was attacking the kids, RBG. This one's got a bunch of kids trying to represent the kids and save the kids. And I believe she was going to be pivotal with RV Wade at some point.
Absolutely.
Now, when you look at the dark side and then the light that just came in, what just happened here, Chris? We had law and an order on the court, or justice on the court has been restored. You know what I mean? We had darkness that was dethroned from that court, and light and righteousness took its place on that court. This is what people have to understand. This is way bigger than what we could ever imagine in this country right now, what took place, because that gatekeeper has been taken down.
Yes.
The dark throne on that court has been taken down, and it has been replaced with light. And that is simply mind-boggling, because this is going to lead to other things, whether it's the election, whether it's Roe versus Wade. It's going to lead to a host of other things, man. And people are going to be boggled or mind-numbing when we see what all takes place on this court, brother. This is all about saving the kids. This is all about, and this is what this lady represents. You know what I mean? This is saving the kids. It's not a coincidence she's got a couple of kids that she adopted from Haiti.
Right.
Where is that going to lead to?
Clinton.
We all know what happened in Haiti. So I mean, there's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to come out of this. Now, does God take on Roe versus Wade right away? I have no clue, because in the prophecy that God gave us, he said, I will reform the court, then I will take on that case called Roe versus Wade. Now, does this consider it being reformed? In God's eyes, I don't know, because timing is everything, guys. Timing is everything. We know we got 2 more judges coming, for sure. We know we have 2 more judges coming, which also tells us that Trump will get in a second term, because he's got to at least have 5. So, when does God take this case on? I don't know. I just know that things shifted from dark to light on that Supreme Court. Now, what happens to Roberts at this point? Roberts becomes pretty much irrelevant right now. It doesn't matter which way this guy votes, because we have a majority at this point, right?
Absolutely right. Yeah, good stuff. And